right. Thank you, Curtis. I was waiting for you to close out on that, but that's okay. We're ready to go because I want to bring on Emile Thompson, Chair of the Public Service Commission now, to talk about the Energy Summit that's coming up in a couple. It's coming up soon, but also to talk about just what that means, the clean energy goals for the District of Columbia, what that means for us regular people as residents of the city. So welcome to the show, Emile. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Denise. It's always a pleasure to be here with you.
I appreciate that. So I just want to jump quickly into, well, first of all, you can give, if you don't mind, just give a little bit of background on the Public Service Commission, but then we want to talk about the summit.
Yes, really quickly, the Public Service Commission is the body that regulates the utilities here in the district. So we're talking about Pepco, Washington Gas, and Landline Verizon Services. Our job is to make sure they provide safe, reliable, and affordable services to all the ratepayers in the district. And also, as of 2018, we are required to make sure that the utilities are doing their part to ensure that they help us reach the district's clean energy goals.
And if you don't mind, could you share what some of those goals are?
Yes. So by 2045, the district is supposed to reach carbon neutrality. A little bit closer in, by 2032, all electricity is supposed to come from renewable sources. And then finally, of that electricity, 10% is supposed to be generated within DC.
It's interesting because I was having a conversation with Caleb Benjamin, who is our environmental justice reporter, and we were talking about gas stoves. And it seems as though one of the goals that falls under one of those categories that you mentioned is new housing. Now, I might have made this up, so correct me if I'm wrong, but new housing that will, I think, no longer at a certain date will no longer be able to, I guess, include gas stoves, brand new housing, not the housing that you already live in. But explain that to me, because that's a practical thing that people need to understand.
Right. And so the DC Council has passed a number of measures to try and reduce our carbon footprint. And one of those measures is a provision that will limit new housing and certain new commercial buildings from having new gas hookups. And so that will, of course, affect the ability to have gas stoves, as well as using natural gas as a heating source in those homes. So you would have electric stoves and electric heat.
Yeah, that's something we want to explore a little bit more as we go along, because I think the summit, and if you don't mind sharing with us when the summit is and what you all plan to unveil there at the summit, but it just lets residents know that the role that we all are going to play in this clean energy environment that we plan to move into. So tell us about the summit.
Yes. So first, the Clean Energy Summit is next week, next Wednesday, January 18th. We have a number of panels, and the main focus of the Clean Energy Summit is to ensure that people know what's coming in the Clean Energy Summit. We hear a lot about clean energy, and we hear pieces here and there, but what does that really mean, and what does that mean to us? And so first, we'll have three panels. Well, first, we'll have a keynote address by the former chairman of the DC Public Service Commission, who is now the acting FERC chairman, Willie L. Phillips. He'll give the keynote address, and then we will have a panel that will talk about a lot of the federal money that's coming out in terms of the Inflation Reduction Act and the IIJA, Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act, and what that really means to the district. So we'll have a panel that discusses that. We'll then have a panel that talks about workforce and supplier diversity and how to secure the supply chain. And then we're going to talk about affordability, because affordability is a huge piece of this. We want to make sure that as we make this clean energy transition, people aren't burdened by these costs. And so what can we do to protect those who don't have the same means as other groups of people and to keep the costs affordable?
You know, when you talk, you say affordability is key, and if I were to put them in my list, I probably would have said workforce, because of course, if you have employment, and then you can pay whatever the costs are, even though I agree you don't want things that are unaffordable. but it sounds like it may be opening up some new opportunities, new job opportunities for district residents, training opportunities particularly, but then jobs as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So, with the clean energy transition, there are a number of jobs that are going to be needed to support this. And this is going to be a huge wealth creator. And the last thing you want to do is to have DC residents not aware of opportunities to get into this field. And there are a lot of opportunities out already. I'll talk about one quickly uh, that's really available for the young people in the district. And it's through the DC Infrastructure Academy. And this academy provides training free of cost. And it also provides a stipend so that while you're getting this training, you are still earning money so that you can take the time to really do this training. But it sets you up in fields with Pepco and Washington Gas. It also sets you up with fields in the solar industry. So this is an amazing opportunity to get trained, to have that pathway going forward. So to your point, you have the money to be able to afford to pay those bills.
And I'm wondering, I'm maybe putting you on the spot here, but because we always say the district is not a place that's program or resources poor, right? It's connecting people to those resources. So are folks, I mean, how are you all doing with the academy? Are people really signing up and participating?
So people are certainly participating, and as it stands now, I believe the classes are typically at capacity, but it's also one of those things that you know the more demand, the greater we can expand that academy. And so it's something it's a real thing that again provides a pathway to the residents of the District of Columbia, and it's a pathway where you don't need a college degree or a master's degree to start out in. Right, they are going to provide you with the training. Uh, what they need you to do is to be dedicated, to want to work, and they're going to provide the rest.
And I'm sure there are employers at the door waiting for people to graduate from those programs so they can put them in real jobs.
Yes, I can tell you firsthand because I've been down to the academy. I've talked to people. If you successfully complete these programs, 9 times out of 10, Pepco or Washington Gas will either find you a position directly with those companies or with companies they contract with. And so these are great jobs that pay more than the living wage. And again, this academy is open to DC residents.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And we're talking jobs. I'm kind of going off topic here, but talking jobs and also business opportunities because,
Correct.
and I'm sure that that's probably one of the things that the summit will look at too, where the
Yes.
business opportunities are.
Yeah, so there's like I said, there's certainly a lot of money that's coming from the federal government to aid in this clean energy transition, and so DC will receive its share of that money, and so there are going to be a lot of different opportunities available for businesses to apply for funding. The commission also has a number of opportunities where we have put out some pilot projects where we are encouraging DC companies to apply to help in the clean energy transition. And so this summit will be very informative because it will help lay out a lot of these possibilities and a lot of these opportunities so that people are able to take advantage of them.
Anything else you can share with us about the summit that I didn't give you a chance to talk about because I got you off?
No, no, that's fine. One thing I will touch on that I always want to make sure I touch on, and we'll talk about it at the summit more so
Uh-huh.
in depth, are a lot of the utility discount programs that we have
Right.
in the district. And we always are encouraging people to sign up for them. We have a set of programs for senior residents, and we also have them for low to moderate income residents. And these are programs that you sign up for, and a lot of times they make significant discounts to your utility bills, and we're talking about 50%, almost up to 50% of your bill. And one of the unfortunate things is we budget for an X amount of people, and we always have less than that amount of people participate. And so, if there are two takeaways today or three takeaways, it's of course Clean Energy Summit, two, it's workforce and business development opportunities, and then lastly, affordability through our utility discount programs.
I would love, and maybe that's a story we'll do one day to say, and hopefully I'll be here to see it, but sort of a vision of what the city will look like, let's say in 2030. How different, it's how we always at the end of the year always say what's in and what's out, and what based on the clean energy goals, what will be in and what will be out. And you mentioned one, which might be, stoves and other things that are that utilize gas and automobiles.
Yes.
Energy. I mean, what do you call them? Electric automobiles will be in, and the other ones will be out, which means I need to get a new car. But anything else you want to mention?
No, I just would encourage people. I know you guys put the banner up again, but I would encourage anybody who would like to listen in at the Clean Energy Summit. Please register. It's free. We have a virtual platform, so you can log in from your computer. Unfortunately, we are at capacity for in-person seats, but we still have unlimited amount of seats virtually. And so if you go to the website, dcpsc.org/CES, you'll find a lot more information.
Well, I just want to let folks know that, as I mentioned, our reporter, Caleb Benjamin, who is covers the environment for the Washington Informer, will be there. And so we'll be writing about that in our probably the issue after that, because it starts Wednesday. So, or you can read stories online. So we want to make sure we do our part to keep the community informed. So thank you so very much for being with us, Emile. All right. And look forward to seeing you soon again.
Yes. Thank you.
All righty. Have a great one.